for thy violence against thy brother Jacob. Shalom. First and foremost, giving all praises, honor, glory, respect, and blessings to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rachak Kwadash. Salutations to the Lord's elect on the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth and sincerity while patiently waiting for Yahweh Shai's return, and double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, which have taught us everything we know through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai.
Officer here in San Antonio,
McDonald's teenager parking lot shooting. If you're unfamiliar with the incident, I did an entire video breaking it down called Cop Shoots Unarmed 17-Year-Old While Eating a Burger. I'll leave a link below. If you didn't see it, TLDR, an officer shot a teen in a McDonald's parking lot for pretty much no reason and was subsequently fired and arrested. Stop fire! Stop fire! Stop fire! The officer was arrested and charged with 2 counts of aggravated assault. Because there were 2 people in the car, the young man had a girl sitting in the passenger seat next to him. The family now, though, is calling for attempted murder charges. I don't know if that's going to happen, but we'll see. For several weeks, the teen was on life support after being shot in his stomach, diaphragm, lungs, liver, bicep, and forearm. But within the past couple of days, they've announced he is officially off life support. Looks like the kid might actually pull through.
You devils have a lot to pay for. You know, now this brother right here, he looked like he could be from the tribe of Ephraim, okay? Or he looked like he could be Issachar. But you see, man, you know, of course, you know, the scriptures say, you know, agree with thine adversary quickly, but, you know, what was the justification for you pulling out a gun and shooting this dude, you know? This dude was on life support. You know, he was unarmed. He had no weapon. And then he had a woman sitting in the passenger seat. And then the guy here in the video, he said that that they're pushing to file for attempted murder charges, and they said that is unlikely to happen. So this is an unjust society. You know, this is an unjust society. But you know what? The time of recompense is at hand. Okay? And the Lord is going to raise up his elect men and going to give certain of his elect men spiritual power to mess you Edomites up. You're not going to just get off the hook. Micah chapter 2 verse 10, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. Okay? This is not your rest, Jake. So arise. You know, come up out of the ways of this kingdom. Because that's how Esau Edom gets you. You know, he gets you by putting all manner of wickedness in your face for you to do, just so then he can be justified in killing you. You know, so you got to come up out of the ways of this wicked kingdom, because the time of persecution is at hand. Okay? Persecution is literally right around the corner. You know? I mean, but of course, you know, the police had no reason for pulling out a firearm and shooting the guy, you know, because I see plenty of moments of when the police will be talking to an Edomite, and then the Edomite, that they'll go and drive off, right? And then the police, you know, he'll run back to his police car, get in the police car, and he'll literally chase the Edomite down. But here it is, Jake attempts to pull off from the parking lot and drive off, and you pull out a gun and you shoot him several times. So the Lord is going to get every single one of you fucking Edomites. You're not going to just get off the hook. Okay? It says, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. This land is polluted. What is this land polluted off of? Well, let's go to Numbers chapter 35, verse 33, I believe. So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are. Why? For blood it defileth the land. How is this land defiled by blood? Well, whose blood defiled this land known as America? Okay, furthermore, when you look up this word land, it goes back to the Hebrew word aratazah, which means either the whole earth or a country, which that country is talking about America. So you got to have spiritual discernment to know when it's talking about an actual country and the whole entire earth. Okay, so as you see right here, aratazah, okay, it's the Hebrew word for land, also the Hebrew word for earth, which the word earth is just another word for land. Okay, so you see right there, earth, the whole earth, as you see right here, the whole earth. And then when you scroll down here, what do you see? Country. Okay, district, region, tribal territory. Okay, land of Canaan, Israel, inhabitants of land, Sheol, ground, surface of the earth, space or distance of country. So it's talking about in this case, it's talking about a country. And that the country wherein it is polluted with the blood of the Israelites is here in America, which is known as Babylon the Great. So Numbers 35 verse 33. So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are. Why? For blood it defileth the land. The land of what? The land of America. The country of America. This land is polluted by the blood of the Israelites. And the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein. Right. Because even to this day, the blood of our people is still being shedded by these policemen. Don't you know these police shootings are our modern day lynchings? Okay, going back to the early 1900s. Okay, the late 1800s. Okay, 1870. Going up into 1940. Our people was being lynched. They were being dragged to their death through the streets, to the back of pickup trucks. Emmett Till, brutally murdered, all because a so-called white woman, an Edomite woman, lied on him. Said he did this and that to her, and he didn't. A lot of our people that were hung in the early 1900s, their fingers were cut off, their nuts were cut off. And the reason why they cut off their fingers, so they couldn't, try to, pull themselves up to the rope and prevent themselves from being hung. Some of our people were hung, they were burnt. Okay, and our blood was especially shedded during the time of when the conquistadors, the Spaniards, and the English Dutch mercenaries came over here to the land of the Americas and slaughtered Gad. Namely with the Gatling guns, with blankets laced with all kind of diseases like scarlatina, laced with blankets like smallpox, chickenpox. Okay, they plagued the so-called Native Indians, the Taino Indians, which will be the Puerto Ricans from the tribe of Ephraim. They plagued the Aztec Indians, which will be the so-called Mexicans from the tribe of Issachar. They plagued the so-called Mayans, the so-called Guatemalans from the tribe of Zebulon. They plagued the so-called Seminole Indians from the tribe of Reuben. They plagued all of the so-called natives of this land with various diseases, typhoid, typhus, which are whooping coughs that make you cough so much to the point to where the wind that's coming out of your throat when you cough is cutting up the inside of your throat, making you cough up blood. So people will cough so much that they will end up choking on their own blood and they'll die. You know, in some cases you'll end up coughing so much to the point to where you can't breathe. That's what a whooping cough is. That's what typhoid and typhus does. They also plague their people with scarlatina, lice, tuberculosis. And that was when Gad was over here. And then afterwards, you know, what they would do was they would strip Gad butt naked, and then they would have him run through the wilderness, and then you'll have Esau. He'll get on a horseback. He'll chase our people through the woods while they were butt naked, and he would literally slaughter them. Okay, the pregnant women, they would hang. They would cut open her womb. They'll take the baby out. They'll stomp it to death. They'll dash it against the stones, against trees. And then when the southern tribes came over here to Jamestown, and then after they slaughtered off Gad, you know, they created their own holiday called Thanksgiving to commemorate the slaughter of the so-called natives of this land. And when I say the natives of this land, I speak of the Puerto Ricans, the Mexicans, the Seminole Indians, the so-called North American Indians. And of course you had some Guatemalans over here too. Even though you had Guatemalans predominantly living down in South America, but you also had Guatemalans here too. Okay? So the remaining of them that survived, they got put into slavery. And while they had the natives in slavery, they would take the women, they would rape them, and then they would kill them off afterwards. And you got motherfuckers out there trying to save this devil. There ain't no salvation for Edomites. Period. And then when the Southern Kingdom came over here in the year 1619 to Jamestown, Virginia, on slave ships from Europe and from the western parts of Africa, they put them in slavery and sold them off to different slave masters on auctioning blocks, naked with a yoke of iron on their neck, all oiled up. But you got the effing nigger woman trying to save this devil. That's why a lot of you women out there, a lot of you Israelite women, especially you so-called black nigger women, you Haitian nigger woman, you effing Jamaican nigger woman, you're not gonna make it. Okay? You're the so-called white man's lapdog and cocksucker. Damn shoe-shining, ass-kissing coons. F the nigger woman. And you niggas too. You're a bunch of coons too. Shining your master's shoes. Afraid he might smack the shit out of you if you don't do a good job. Sick and tired of you Sambos. Talking about some, well, it says right here in John 3:16. Shut the fuck up. Nobody ain't trying to hear that. You don't even know what John 3:16 mean. You're too stupid to go into words. Okay? Know ye not that the Old Testament was written in the Paleo Hebrew and the New Testament was written in the Greek because we went into captivity under the Greeks? And a lot of our people were speaking Greek. That's why our apostles tell us when you look up words, you got to go back to the Hebrew and the Greek. Because the English language is a bastard language. The Greek is too, but at least the Greek makes a little bit more sense than the English. Hell's wrong with you bald-headed, big-lipped, Sambo, shoe-shining niggas. You out of your mind if you think this devil's gonna make it in the kingdom. So this land is polluted because of the blood that was shed by the Israelites. From the time that the Spaniards and the conquistadors came over here and slaughtered off Gad to the time when the southern kingdom, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi came over here on slave ships to Jamestown, Virginia in 1619 from Europe and from the western parts of Africa. And then even after slavery was emancipated, because slavery went from physical to mental slavery. Because this devil, he took the chains off of you. Said he told you you were free, you have been emancipated. But guess what? The word emancipate means to transfer. Slavery was transferred from physical slavery to mental slavery. And even to this very day, you still got a lot of Sambos and Uncle Toms out there who's still under that Uncle Tom syndrome. You can't let go of massa. You might as well wipe your slave master's ass. You damn shoe shiner coons trying to save this devil. Damn, Slakia, man, this shit piss you off sometimes. You still got coons out there trying to save the Edomites. Nah, they cannot be saved. Period. And even after slavery was emancipated, and our people was allowed to walk around and shit, the vast majority of our people were homeless or whatnot. Guess what? Even after slavery was emancipated, guess what? Around the mid 1800s, the late 1800s, and even into the early 1900s, going all the way up into what? I think 1940, our people were still being lynched, tortured, they were being kidnapped, and basically they were forced to participate in games like African Dodger. Bet you never heard of that, huh? Yeah, African Dodger, where they'll have a so-called black person with red lipstick on his mouth. They'll have a Israelite man, a so-called black man, which is an Israelite man. They'll have him stick his face out of the curtain. They'll have red lipstick on his lips, and then the crowd, they'll have a bunch of baseballs, and basically the idea was to throw the baseball and to hit him directly in the face. Don't you know a lot of our people died from those games? A lot of them died from a lot of our people ended up with a messed up mouth, a broken jaw, a concussion, busted open eye, a broken nose from participating in African Dodger. They had our people participating in circuses. Okay, the word circuses really go back to our people being a bunch of entertainers for the so-called white people, performing a bunch of dangerous stunts that could possibly kill them. Some of our people died trying to entertain these Edomites in these circuses. And the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. So the ones who shed the blood of the Israelites, guess what? According to biblical prophecy, their blood is going to be shedded. Matter of fact, I don't care. I'm in the spirit right now. Let's get Revelation chapter 13, verse 9. Revelation 13, verse 9. If any man have an ear, let him hear. This is in the New Testament for you Old Testament crack junkies. Okay, Revelation 13 and 10. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. Did you hear that? Let's read that again. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. Who put the Israelites into captivity? The Edomites did. And guess what? They're still here today, and they are the top rulers on the planet, starting with the so-called elites, trickling down to the rest of their nation of people. The self-proclaimed white man, starting with the so-called elites, trickling down to the rest of their nation of people. They're the Edomites. They're the ones who put us into captivity. So he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. Baruch 3 and 8. Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. Okay? What that policeman did was he pulled out a gun and he shot this Israelite brother right here several times. Okay? The modern day sword today is what? The gun. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. Now let's go back to Micah chapter 2 verse 10. Okay, Micah chapter 2 verse 10. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you, even with a sword destruction. Okay, so you got to come up out of the ways of this kingdom. Repent. Because the ways of this kingdom is nothing but pure wickedness. That's all this kingdom promotes is wickedness. Do as thou will. That's why you got niggas walking around with pink hair, pink sideburns, a pink mustache, a pink beard, wearing pink sunglasses, a pink and black shirt, pink shorts, pink sandals. You got Jake walking around with purple, blue, yellow, and pink hair. Wearing some skinny jeans. Wearing some skinny jeans with a tight shirt on. And then you'll be sagging with skinny jeans on. Now, there's nothing wrong with wearing pants that fit your body, but they gotta have a little room around your legs and your thighs. They gotta have some room around your legs and your thighs. Like shit, man. How you sagging with skinny jeans on? Whew. That's why the Lord is going to do away with the 2/3 of our people, man. Let's get Ezekiel chapter 35 verse... Is it 35 verse 1? Let me just check real quick. So I'll just start at 35 verse 1. Ezekiel 35 verse 1. Moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir, and prophesy against it. Now, is that talking about you got to get on a plane and go to Mount Seir and start talking to the fucking mountains? No. Mount Seir represents wherever Esau dwell at. Okay, it says, and say unto it, Thus saith the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai our power. Behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee, and I will stretch out mine hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate. You see that? So the Lord's going to make this country most desolate. And that's going to come via the thermonuclear destruction during World War III. It says, I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred. And that perpetual hatred still shows today through this police officer. You're going to have the nerve to get on your radio talking about shots fired, shots fired, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and has shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword. What's the modern day sword? The gun. By the force of the sword, in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Sith thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. So, hey, it's going to come back on you, you devils, man. Obadiah chapter 1 verse 10. This is going to take place after the Edomites served their 1,000 years of slavery in the kingdom of heaven. Obadiah 1 and 10. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee. Jacob is Israel. That's the Israelites. For Esau's violence against because Jacob had only one brother, and that brother was Esau. So you can better understand. Esau, who is Edom. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. So after the Edomites served their 1,000 years of slavery in the kingdom of heaven, they're all going to get bundled up in one big group inside of a pit, and they're all going to get set on fire. And guess what? We're not going to need gasoline or lighter fuel and some matches to do it. We're going to have spiritual power. And man, Lord's will, if I'm of the elect, man, and I get that power, the fire I'm gonna put on you motherfuckers. I'm gonna make sure that fire is hotter than the sun. But with that, I'm going to say Shalom. It's on to the next one.